Hello and welcome to the Endtimes TCG, and I hope the light will hold up well and that the video is not that long. It's almost 4 p.m. in Germany on December the 28th. So let me show you. The past few days I was very prolific, that's how you say it, I guess, and let me show you what I've done. And I don't know, I was sick for a week. I had a fever, and in that week there was nothing I could really do. I watched a bit of The Walking Dead. I just rested, and I read a bunch of The Walking Dead comics, and yeah, I did really nothing. And then I kind of came back to the Endtimes TCG, and I was thinking about a starter deck, which you can see here: humans versus non-humans, vampire hunters versus vampire scum. And I will go into what's in here, and then a bunch of characters: James Woods, the Padre, the Asian guy, the chick, the Baldwin, cowboy. Here we have Jesse Hooker, Severin, Homer, Diamondback, Caleb, May, and I was thinking about a lot of stuff and resources like cash, locations, spells, actions, vampires thirst, vampires don't eat tacos, and nighttime is our time. A lot of stuff going on, Dark Knight, then the gear, the shotgun, vampire claws, the duct tape, RV, motorcycle, pistols, and all of this stuff. That's what you get in a two-player starter set. So that was a good start. And then I started. I could print a sheet of paper like this out, but I kind of just take a magic card. I take out my rulers, my pens, and I do it every time. I don't know, maybe I'm invoking some special magic. But yeah, it was the main thing, or the good thing that came out here was like, I was thinking, do you cast these people with generic mana? And the answer is no, because generic mana is pretty boring. So these are vampires. I then Googled the, how do you say it, the versus system to PCG, and they have a similar symbol here for the vampires, but I didn't steal it. It was kind of logical that if you have vampires, you have the vampire teeth, and this is like maybe something like red mana or something like this, or maybe something like black mana. I don't really know, but definitely you couldn't cast these vampire out of thin air. You need some vampire resource. And then I was thinking, is the scum, and how is the body in this? How is their strength? And as you can see, I have here the vampire hunters, and we have here the Jack Crow. And vampire hunters, they you cannot just summon vampire hunters. Like, this is a special forces. Like, probably a human would be something kind of generic, but these people are specialized people. So the Padre Giovanni only joins you if you pay faith for him, and a different bunch of stuff. Otherwise, you could just mix the Padre with the vampires, and it would just be a mishmash. But it can't be. It needs to be distinct, like in the Magic the Gathering. But how do we avoid being flooded or screwed? And I was always thinking through the process that if you bring, like, for example, you have myself, and I, as long as I'm fed and I have slept and I have a bunch of money, I bring my own resources. I'm able to generate something. So maybe when you start a game and you cannot put down a resource or something like this, maybe this character generates, I don't know how much, but they have focus, and so everybody can generate a bunch of mana to fuel their own abilities or auto attacks, or fuel to cast some of the other people. And I was thinking, okay, let's say I have Severin, and he's a degenerated vampire who will take a look into very cool and noble vampires. But okay, how does he generate mana? What kind of mana does he generate? Because like, does he generate just generic mana, colorless? And it can't be, because like, if you have him out and he should cast now Jesse or May and they need vampire mana, he needs to generate vampire mana. So I was thinking maybe the thing that these guys are, like, they're vampires, they're drifters, and they may be family. Maybe he has his own mana, he can generate it, he can fuel his own abilities, but if you take focus from this guy, let's say like in Magic the Gathering, from a land to cast something, you can then cast mana in the color of his how do you say, what he is, like, if you have, for example, you have a Padre, Father Adam Githo, or Jack Crow. These are vampires, so maybe this guy has focus 5 and he can generate human mana, or vampire hunter mana, or faith mana, and with faith you could cast Father Giovanni with the help of another guy, or maybe with the help of a location. Let's call it location, but it's like a land, and you know what I mean. And then instead of fueling his own, you could fuel your economy or your resource system, and you could take his focus and not use his abilities, but cast a Padre with faith, or you could cast a vampire hunter. And then it's always the question, like, maybe this guy you could cast or play in a team full of faithful people, or maybe even humans could recruit a Padre with a shotgun. So maybe this is either or cost. And I'm thinking about a lot of stuff, but it's getting more refined. It has now its resource system that it's very distinct. I'm thinking about the power, like, let's say we have a Padre here and he punches for 2. His body is a 28. This is like his health pool. This is Cardinal Alba. And as you can see, he's pretty weak, but he supplies the team with cash, with weapons, with informations. So you can search your deck with this guy. Then we have Katrina. She's just, let's say, a female grunt, or maybe a weapons specialist, a nun with guns. Then we have Anthony Montoya, and he's a brick. He's just a brick. He's just like, he punches hard, and he has a high body count. Then David Deo, he's the Asian guy. Then we got Father Giovanni, which has a pretty weak melee and pretty weak blood, but maybe this guy blesses your team or gives everybody, bonuses. We got Ortega, the fat Spanish guy, and he's very slow, low dexterity. But I don't know, so maybe he brings a cool ability to the table. So, and then as you can see, the vampires. Then I was thinking, here are the symbols, like vampires, and then do I have scum, or the church? Oh, the lightning changed. Why? Come on. Or church symbol, or human symbol, or teens. Okay, we're losing light here. That's very flavorful. But Jesse definitely, like, he's a vampire. Like, he needs to punch really hard. Like, he needs to hit harder than a human. And I was thinking, how are vampire bodies? Are they fragile? Do they have very low HP, but are they immune to bullets? Or are they higher in their HP to show that they're vampires? And once you get to 0, like, the vampire body has taken so much damage that it cannot sustain its wounds. It will definitely get a stake through its heart, or the head severed off, and all of that stuff. But as you can see, the female vampire, she's a bit more fragile, but she maybe can charm or make a kiss of blood, turn somebody else into a vampire. And that's okay. Like, I mean, then we have here Severin, and even Homer, like he's a kid, but he's a kid for ages. So he's a kid who was turned vampire. So he has the body of a kid, and maybe he doesn't punch so hard, but maybe he can use pistols and guns, and he's still a vampire. And it's not all perfect right now. And then we have Diamondback, but it was important to put down everything I needed, the game pieces. And then we have Caleb Colton, and he's still part human. Maybe he has empathy with the humans, so he's a bit weaker. And then we have the vampire claws, maybe an additional weapon you can equip your team with. The near dark bar, I don't know what it does, but I did put it down, and I hope the light will be good. Then I came. Let me skip this one for a second. I came to somehow. It was Christmas, and then I saw something, and then I saw a bad Santa with his wolf companions, and so this bad Santa has 3 wolves. This is not connected with the vampires, but just having a different flavor. Santa's cabin in the woods and Santa's shotgun. So you get the idea. We're pretty much all over the place. And then I was thinking about vampires, and then I YouTubed vampire weaknesses, and then I came to Blade. And to Blade 2. In Blade 2, there's a team of vampires. One is called Snowman, Chopper, Reinhardt, played by, what's his name, the Hellboy guy. And then Priest and Verlaine, and Lightheimer is like a huge Russian vampire guy. And so you have vampires who are not scum. These are elite vampires who hunt Blade or who hunt Reapers. And then I was thinking about the Reaper vampires who are like Nosferatu, and they need more blood. They're super fast. They have every vampire has to have the thirst. I don't know what it does, but they have a bloodthirst, and it needs to be something that is, I don't know, needs to be dealt with. So I was thinking about day and night cycles, vampire supremacy, daylight, something that definitely must be addressed. I don't know if there's a day or night cycle. I guess that would be too much, but definitely like daylight must be a card you can cast that says that does damage to vampires or demons, or maybe heals your own people. Like, you know what I mean? You take this with you, and then whatever situation comes up, daylight might be beneficial for you if you have access to the daylight. I think only humans or other people than Nomek. And I was thinking about garlic and silver and all of that stuff. And then I was thinking about how to kill a vampire. What does kill a vampire? Garlic, cross and Bible, holy water, stakes and hammer. In some movies it doesn't, like in John Carpenter's Vampire, they don't give a shit about garlic and a cross. But this is the universe of the Endtimes TCG, and I have to see what makes sense. And we have the holy water. I think holy water is definitely cool. A razor sharp sword should do its job against anybody, and especially vampires. Wooden stakes and a hammer, definitely useful. Sunlight, a blessed golf club. Then I was thinking about a blessed golf club. And in the movie Dogma from Kevin Smith, a priest blesses his golf club, and then a demon gets hit by that golf club, and because it's blessed, the demon takes tremendous damage. And so we have here a demon who was once an angel, and he was an artist, and he didn't fought. So God banished it to hell. His name is Azrael from the movie Dogma. And the first couple of millennia, he was only thinking about escaping hell. And then once he knew he couldn't escape hell, he turned on God and on Satan and on all of existence. So like snap everything into nothing. And he says, "I'd rather not exist than go back to hell." And that's really cool. I can understand these motives. And here Nissa from Blade 2, and of course I cannot use the names, but I put down what I know, and then I can twist it and shape it so that it fits the game and people get the reference, but I stay away from copyright things and it becomes its own thing. Then Blade puts on Reinhardt a silver nitrate explosive right in his skull, and I was thinking, is silver cool against vampires? But okay. Then Blade's Silver Blade, then Blade the Daywalker, and the Thirst. He definitely every vampire needs to have a drawback, but because they're so strong, and the Thirst needs to be something that a vampire player must manage. And you either manage it in a good way, or maybe you run out of blood and then it harms you. Like, it must be really dramatic. Like, I want the flavor to show in the gameplay. And I want the game to be fun and not so... I don't want it to be Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you have to read a bunch of freaking text. But right now I'm putting every idea here, and I will see what sticks. Club Blood location. This is like from Blade, where they dance, and it's called Club Blood. Then I was putting down a werewolf just to have a difference. Like, if a human has a body of 28 and a vampire is stronger, then a werewolf must be even stronger and punch even harder and have definitely even more agility, strength, stamina, and all of that, and regeneration. But yeah, I'm just feeling out the relationships. And then human vampire familiar, like vampires have humans who work for them. They're called familiars, and they are tattooed on the neck or on the lips. And they work for the vampires. So vampires have access to humans. And what was also very interesting is that the governments, the vampire councils and the human governments have treaties. So this is stolen from the Masquerade, but I can implement it here. And so Shadow Council, 12 Pure Bloods. These vampires are very different from these drifter vampires. These drifter vampires are just vampire scum, but they're still family, so you don't mess with them. And that's also the beauty of that. And let me show you what do I else have. Then yesterday, and I think we come now to the end and to the conclusion. I hope the light is not super bad. I got a bit of daylight left. I was thinking about Half-Life, and I thought, oh man, again, something new. But then I was thinking about Gordon Freeman, because like we're living in the 80s and 90s, so there are not only vampires in the shadows and inquisitions and vampire hunters fighting each others and demons trying to destroy our world. There's also like government experiments going on with aliens and other stuff and dimensions and lambda cores. And so I implemented Gordon Freeman. Sure, it would be called something different, but then I was thinking about a crowbar, very cheap, very effective, maybe something you can throw into your deck and it just does the job. Shotguns, I was thinking about the Half-Life suit, but definitely only scientists or technical people have access to this, or maybe if there's a either or cost, the or cost for just humans or people accessing this suit must be much more expensive. Like, you just, like, let's say me and you, we're just normal human beings, and we find a suit like this in a government institution because we're just there for some reason. So it costs you a bit more to throw this, like let's say 6 generic mana, and if this is like for your technical guy, it's maybe 1 technical and 3 generic mana, so it's 4 against 6 cost. You know what I mean? Like flavorful access. And then I was thinking about, I always love this guy as in Half-Life 1, the hazardous environment combat team, when Gordon Freeman, everything is going to shit and then the Marines show up. Like, that's so amazing. Like, you're already fighting aliens and then what the fuck? Marines show up in these suits and in these combat suits, and very flavorful. And these army guys must be, I guess, expensive because like they're not common, but yeah, somehow well balanced. I was thinking about the guns, the grenade, some charge packs, and so I will concentrate on the vampire starter, but every idea I have, I'm putting down on paper, and I think that's a good thing because it lets me see the relationships of the characters I have, like how do aliens fit in, how do predators fit in, what power level has a soldier, and a wrestler, definitely more common. But if you have a bunch of wrestlers and the world is going to shit, you should still have a fighting chance, because at the end of the day, let's say this wrestler is played by Kurt Russell and an alien chick lands and you have Highlanders and predators roaming the street. You know, in that 80s or 90s movies, this wrestler would find a way with his trucker buddy to save the day. And that's what the Endtimes TCG is about. And he will include a sorcerer, and then he will kick some Scannar predator ass. So, I'm having fun. I hope this is going to be a fun game. I'm planning about building a Patreon for this, and offering a $1, $2, $5, or $10 Patreon, and offering perks, original art, special cards, which only Patreons get sent to. And yeah, it's going on. I hope this game turns out fun. We will know. But yeah, the work continues. I hope the lighting was okay, and we'll see us to the next video. See ya.